Hello. Sometimes parents ask me, what do I do to help my child defend himself if, for example, another child hits him? How do I help the child do something to keep himself from being bullied by others? Well, that's a complicated issue because there are two factors that we need to address. One, we need to understand that it is never appropriate to hit another human being. So defending oneself against another person's act of violence isn't a question of teaching them how to fight back, like giving them karate classes or boxing lessons. No, rather, it's helping the child learn to give no attention to negativity. Now, I will give you an example. My nose has been broken twice when I was a little boy. Because I'm so hyperactive, other children would pick on me, would bully me. So I was frequently bullied. But if you compare my life with the life of those people who used to bully me, I have 2 doctorates, I've been a colonel in the military, I've done so much more as a physician than most people have done their entire life. I have more publications than most people would ever imagine. And subsequently, responding to violent behavior with violence is never, abadan, never the answer. So rather, we want to build our child's self-confidence so much that if he or she does get hit by another child when they're young, if he or she does get bullied by another person, they can cope with that socially incompetent behavior without them getting involved with repeating a socially incompetent behavior themselves. Now, let me give you an example. In the United States, if a bully hits a child and the child hits the bully back, guess who gets suspended from school, who gets temporarily has to stay home from school? Both children. So we have to look at this from the way Allah would look at things. This is not a question of fighting back if someone's mean to me. No, it's learning to have so much compassion for others that if someone is incompassionate to you, that they learn compassion because you're compassionate with them. So here's the rest of that personal story about me. This one boy who picked on me when I was in 7th grade, when I was a senior in high school, and I'm on the swim team, he happened to join the swim team, and he remembered, of course, who I was, and he came up to me and said, I apologize for picking on you when I was a little kid. I'm sorry, and I really respect that you didn't want to engage in a fight with me. So, I understand, in the Middle East, there is this perception, this cultural perception. It's not a religious perception because the Quran is very clear that we should not be violent. So there's a cultural perception that if someone hits me, I should hit them back. well, that's not really going to fix the problem. The most important factor is making sure our children, when they are wahe, isnein, klate, when they're 1, 2, and 3 years old, have such a healthy, intact self-esteem that if someone does bully them as they're growing up, their self-esteem is intact so it doesn't bother them. Parents need to understand that the answer to bullying is never, absolutely never, fighting back, even though people think that that's the way you stop violent behavior. In fact, there's even a phrase for that in English. You fight fire with fire. But that really doesn't apply to interpersonal relationships. It only applies to what that idiom is about. If there's a forest fire and a bunch of trees are being burned, you often have to set another fire that's on the other side of the wind to stop the fire from continuing. That, however, is tragically applied to human behavior very often, and it is not really accurate. Rather, we have to treat violent behavior by others with kindness. And so we have this other idiom in English, kill people with kindness. Now, unfortunately, the word kill means to kill someone, but that idiom does not really mean you kill that person. That means you are so kind to that person that the person stops being hostile toward you. And that inevitably will be the case as long as we build our children's self-esteem in the first 3 years of life. Thank you for listening.